Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Superman Longbox, the podcast where we take a Superman comic, movie, TV show, piece of Superman's media out of the Longbox and talk about it. My name is Andrew Pinkham. I'm so glad to be along with you today. And today we have our continued coverage of the Superman movie that came out a few weeks ago. This is going to be part two of the conversation because unfortunately, Danny had to go. So what you're about to hear is the rest of the conversation Stephen and I had talking about the new Superman movie. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and let's get to it. And then there were two. um,
Superman fan. Superman.
yeah, indeed, indeed. Um, what did you think of the introduction of the pocket dimensions? This is something we've never seen in any Superman movie at all. So the fact that it exists is very comic booky. I honestly really like the idea of the pocket dimensions. It kind of makes me think that there might be a multiverse going on there with the advantageous pocket dimension.
Yeah, as you said, it's very comic booky. Kind of remind me of the Phantom Zone a little bit, but more not as scary as the Phantom Zone because we all know, ghosts and
Right.
pure evil, the worst go into the Phantom Zone. But yeah, it's a nice little comic book side piece. Again, don't know, as you said, I never thought about it being connected to a multiverse before, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
It, it could be, something to explore, but also a dangerous thing to tap into because it, cracked the city in half.
Indeed.
But
Indeed.
it was breached. But no, it's a great idea to get around and to keep someone so high profile as Superman under wraps. Sort of reduces powers because obviously there's no sun can't penetrate it. So when he's down there by himself, full of kryptonite, he can't recharge himself.
Yeah.
So you've got that side to him that he can be more docile. And I think if it wasn't for Metamorpho stepping up and being a hero, Superman would have probably just languished in that pocket dimension forever.
Probably. Yeah.
And it's
Or
like the fact Lex Luthor's got somewhere to store people he doesn't like or disenfranchised with.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Lex girlfriend there, his business partners,
Right.
anyone that gets on his really just puts in a pocket universe, which is just a very Lex Luthor thing to do.
Sure. Sure.
Once he hits someone and he can't see any more usage from them, then just get rid of them as soon as possible.
Right.
But I
Uh,
think, dude, did you think he went too far with killing someone?
with who? Kill
Lex,
someone, Lex?
Avenge the Street.
No, I mean that's very Lex Luthor. You know, he does
I
whatever
thought,
he has to do and to manipulate people, including killing people. You know, that's not even a. I mean, we see that throughout Lex's history on film. You know, we don't see it from Gene Hackman, but I mean, we see it through with Kevin Spacey. We definitely see it with Michael Rosenbaum's version of the character of Lex.
yeah.
He has no compunction about killing people.
No, I can't
Um,
really see like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor killing people in more as a director. More indirectly, he would do it. I
right,
know he bombed sent the Capitol building in Batman versus Superman, but I felt like this Lex Luthor is just ice cold
right,
when it comes to no compunction with doing the dirty stuff himself. So he gets his hands dirty.
yeah,
That's what makes him more dangerous than the other Lexes that we've had recently.
right. Yeah, I almost feel like he's a lot like Lex from the Superman the Animated Series. I can't think of the actor's name.
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's very much like that character. Um,
Right.
you know, very cold, calculating, hates Superman with a passion because he's jealous. You know, so and Nicholas Hoult just does an amazing job portraying that.
Yeah, I was very surprised at how dark he went with it because I've only
Yeah.
seen him in roles where he's been like the comedic relief in a TV series called The Great, which is about I think the French Revolution. I can't remember,
Hmm.
but he's great. He's really funny, and Beast. He's really good as Beast in the X-Men films.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had this darkness to him. that he's had, and it's just great to see him tap into an extra side of himself, and he's reaping the rewards for it now.
Yeah,
Ho-
definitely.
Hopefully they bring him back for the next couple of films.
I
So
have
now
no doubt. Although
he's in.
they'll have to break him out of jail. So not sure how that's going to work out.
I'm sure he's already got a plan.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I guess I know we got Danny's thoughts on crypto. I never got your thoughts on crypto as a whole in this movie. I know he was a very big part, and that was I think more due to James Gunn wanting him to be a big part.
See, I thought I'd really hate it because not I'm a dog person, so it's not like I hate dogs or anything.
Sure.
But I just felt like it'd just be too cutesy
Yep.
and not too much. And when I saw the trailers, I was just like, oh, okay, it's going to be cutesy and over the top. I might not like this aspect to it, but he just really warmed to him. Like he went through a little arc himself about being a bad boy, and then obviously getting involved, helping Superman rescue from the pocket dimension, and then fighting the Raptors at the end.
Yep.
That's a nice little arc to him that's going to be good to explore. And I just thought the CG on the dog was very well done.
Yeah.
He's very in places. It made me go a few times. I know my daughter will love him when she eventually sees the film. I know my wife will definitely love that part of the film because
Oh, so even Rachel hasn't seen this movie yet.
oh, it's only me. It's in the house. I've seen it. Took the day off work so I could go and see it on the first day it came out over here.
Fair enough.
But Rachel's not really a big superhero fan. She's more of a Batman fan than anything else, but she's warm into Superman.
So
But
she probably was there when Robert Pattinson's The Batman came out.
yeah, we went to see that together. She came to see Batman vs Superman on opening night.
Okay.
When I lived in London, the Cineworld, the cinema chain over here, had a Man of Steel and then Batman vs Superman back-to-back screenings.
Oh,
So it was like a
nice.
mid. So she came about 11:30, halfway through the fight of Metropolis in Man of
See,
Steel, and then
I
oh, that was
wish my theater would have done that, but unfortunately they didn't. So
no, but it was a great experience. I enjoyed that immensely.
yeah, I'm sure you did, no
That's
doubt.
definitely.
Do you have a favorite scene from this movie?
Yeah, my favorite scene, the interview scene, like in the beginning.
Yeah,
So I just felt, while all the Daily Planet staff were good, there's not enough of them, and there
sure.
was definitely not enough of Clark Kent in those scenes either. So it was kind of difficult to judge the differences between what Clark Kent is and who Superman is. But I
Yeah,
felt this really like he embodied the whole character.
right.
The minute the recording went on and she called him Superman and he called her Miss Lane, it's just the cadence of his voice just changed and went
Yeah,
down, went a bit lower. His posture changed and he just went straight into this character. So you could see that Clark Kent's the real person and Superman's the performance.
yeah,
We saw the performance and I just thought that was just like I had no notes. That was just dead on Superman Lois interaction.
yeah,
I thought it was super strong. It didn't slow the film down. It added the much needed. Like as Danny said, the film's very fast paced, but I feel like it stops in certain places to inject a bit of character and pathos into the film, which is sorely needed.
yeah.
I just felt like this was probably just as good as the interview scene in Superman 78.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a great moment for sure. It's actually one of my favorite moments in the movie, along with the Jonathan Clark scene towards the tail end of the movie. In small moments like that, I feel like this movie didn't have enough of them, and that's why that was one of my biggest criticisms. Is this movie was so fast paced and so much jam packed into it, including a clone of Superman, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I just don't feel like we had enough of these small moments. Loved the scene between Lois and Clark. Loved the way that David just dropped his voice when he's he's Superman. It gave me a very Bud Collyer vibe from the radio show. I know you're not a huge fan of the radio show, sir, but I am, and there's a very different tone between whether he just drops his voice down an octave or two, and it's just a great moment. So, but my favorite moment was actually not with Superman in it. It was Mr. Terrific taking out that entire camp of bad guys. It was just a great moment for Mr. Terrific and Lois, just in panic and fear, and just seeing what Mr. Terrific could actually do was really really well done on screen. So if they don't do a Mr. Terrific movie after this, I would be shocked.
Yeah, movie, TV series, one or the other.
Yeah,
Give him a JSA TV series and let him lead it.
yeah, no doubt, no question.
Because the JSA is in there. Did you see in the Hall of Justice that there's a mural of all previous JSA members?
I guess I didn't notice.
Oh, that was great. Like Atomic Robots in there and Wildcat. No, sorry, Atomic Knight, not Atomic Robots. That's completely
Yeah,
different. And like I think Jay Garrick's in there and Bulleteer and Bulletet and just a lot of really goodness. Like
yeah,
blink you miss it, but when it comes to home video, you can just go scene by scene and
yeah.
just
I'll
scroll.
have to.
I think it's online as well. I think James Gunn released it online.
Probably he did. Probably he did.
So check that out.
What did you think of the Superman robots in this film?
I missed that one of them wasn't called Kelex, but because big
Right.
post-crisis, so Kelex is a huge part of the Man of Steel miniseries.
Yeah.
So I missed that part, but I thought they were good. For what they had, the briefest moment they had on there. I'm not too sure why they were so sassy, considering that they're supposed to have no emotions, as they said. So
Right.
that was almost like they're a bit quippy, the
Yeah.
robots that haven't got any kind of sense of humor or anything. But we'll go past that. But voice actors were good. I know it was Alan Tudyk and Tom Clancy who played Mantis in the Guardians films, and
Yeah.
Michael Rock was one of the robots as well. So James Gunn's friends all around the film.
Sure.
But I didn't it didn't detract from anything. I thought the CG was good on them. I know some of them were actual animatronics
Oh,
on the
really?
set. Yeah, I
That
saw
I
some
didn't
behind.
know. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. So the practical stuff and the CG stuff are all really put together really well.
Sure.
But as you said, there's just loads more characters. But as you said, they had just provided those small moments for Superman to just catch a breath. And
Yeah.
I kind of like that the first fight not the first fight he loses, but the one time he does lose, he has to get recharged. And I know a lot of
Right.
people were just going, why is he screaming? Superman wouldn't feel pain, but I think this Superman is not as overpowered as the comic interpretation.
Yeah. I
So
would
he's a
agree.
bit
Yeah.
more down to earth, so things will hurt him because he's never been punched by someone like him before.
Right.
So you would reminisce. And if he's broken bones and severed his kidney function, as they said, I think, or intestines, something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like this Superman is even as strong as Henry Cavill's Superman by far. I mean, we get that in the Zack Snyder films that Superman is very, very powerful to the point where, I mean, even Steppenwolf can't do anything about it, and he's a general from Apocalypse. So um, that was one of my not big criticisms, but I feel like Superman was just punched around for 90 minutes, and that to me didn't really feel like Superman. You want Superman to be strong, you want him to be able to take down any enemy within a split second, but probably the vulnerability is what we don't see with Superman oftentimes. So
Yeah, I thought
it's
that.
kind of a like and a dislike all at the same time.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because as you said, you don't want him to be too powerful that nothing can hurt him. But then again, you need to inject some danger into thinking is he going to actually walk away from this?
Right.
But I think we do that is more by putting other people at risk, which is sort of like gets to him. That's why he goes and saves so many people, which is I
Sure.
know big criticism from even though Henry Cavill saves a lot of people in most of the films he stars in as Superman. So we can't forget that.
Right.
But it's more overt, and I think it went overcompensated for those detractors of the Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. They're out there because like he saves a squirrel at one point, and while I think
Yeah.
Superman to do that, but like, that's a bit over the top.
Yeah. No, I mean it's very Superman of him to care about everything, including small little woodland creatures. um, let's talk about some of the things we didn't like. For me, I feel that script was way too jam packed, way too. I don't know. I just feel like they didn't have a great script for this movie. Even though I enjoyed the movie, I didn't feel like I feel like the script could have been better. I just feel like this movie was way too jam packed. So,
See, I thought it was jam packed, but in a good sense, as in they're just like layering Easter eggs upon Easter eggs, so you can
sure.
dissect them. You know, every small character is like a character that you can find in the DC archives,
Yeah.
which is what like. But I think, yeah, I think it's difficult with James Gunn being the president of DC Films,
Right.
and also the writer and the director, and someone who's got the green light power to make things happen
Yeah.
in the
I mean,
film.
he basically is he has carte blanche to
Basically,
do whatever he wants to do.
yeah. So he's
Which
got to police him and say maybe it needs another to relook at it and a bit of structure to it.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well, and that's kind of why I feel like he's not the best choice to direct this movie. I think he needs to be a producer if he's going to be the head of DC Films. Um, I feel like he needs to have a little bit of oversight if he's the director of this film, and that's supposed to be James Gunn's job as the head of this new DC Studios. He needs to be the one to have the oversight. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. And I don't
yeah,
feel like James
yeah,
Gunn was the best director choice for this, and we'll talk about why here in just a second. But
yeah. I think like you just need someone to rein him in a little bit as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Like I know he's got his own style, and every filmmaker should have their own style. So you know it's them that's made the film. Like
right,
he always what a Tim Burton film is because it's very opaque and gothy, and you know when there's a Zack Snyder
right,
film, 'cause it's all beautifully shot and the action's intense. And, you know a Paul Thomas Anderson shot where you got loads of good tracking dolly shots and lots of zooms and lots of long takes. So you know you want a filmmaker to have their unique style and put it onto the film, but then I've just
right.
felt like Gunn was as you said, the wrong choice for that because I didn't really feel his the action in it wasn't very dynamic to me.
Yeah,
It was serviceable, but after not to compare, but people compare all the time, so I think it's fair. Man of Steel's action and Batman vs Superman and Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League trilogy has probably the best comic book action I've seen
yeah, for sure.
ever, ever put to film. And that includes the nostalgia bait of the '78 and the Superman 2.
Yeah, for
Well, they were
sure.
good. It was just not. Now you've got that. You've had such high quality. It's hard to see go down a little, make a little downgrade.
Right.
But I think if they're going to have been just stayed on as the writer and the producer and passed the direction on to someone else, I think you would have got an overall stronger film from it. But I enjoyed what we got from it,
Yeah.
and I felt like it was James Gunn's Superman, which is what you expect. But then the negative side was it's James Gunn's Superman. So you
Right.
had like a little, like, the swearing in there that shouldn't be in there. There's a
Yeah.
hashtag that shouldn't be there. There's commentary on, which is fine to have commentary on, fandom with the monkeys.
Yeah.
I,
The
I think,
monkeys, the monkey. I'm not gonna lie. The monkeys were funny to me.
yeah, they were funny.
I actually laughed out loud when I saw them on screen. So
The thing is,
it's just a commentary on internet trolls for sure.
it's definitely, and it's fine to do that kind of thing because, the internet trolls will find anything, any kind of caveat to look at and dissect, and anything wrong with it, they'll just jump on it like vultures. But
Right.
just the hurry, like Lara telling him to take many wives and spread his seed. It's just like I
Yeah.
don't need that in one film. And
Yeah.
super
And that I guess we'll
now,
talk about that going in. I absolutely hated that.
yes,
I hated that Jarrell and Lara wanted him to be a ruler and basically take many wives, have as many kids as possible, spread his Kryptonian seed. That's just not. I'm sorry, that's just not Jor-El and Lara to me.
No, same. But I know with Man of Steel, they say that he could rule them, but they don't send them there to be a ruler. They send them there
Right,
to save us. And
right,
just they make sure Krypton still survives in a different way. But yeah, in my brain, when I was watching the film, which is why I didn't have a problem with it until I spoke to you, was that the engineer had manipulated the audio from the Kryptonian ship, like from the fortress,
it's
and
possible.
it created this sense of like, that she manipulated it because she's that powerful with technology. She could
Right,
do that. I know they confirmed in the film, like Mr. Terrific said, it was real.
yeah,
But my mind, the engineer would be so good at doing what she's doing because the way the way her power set is, that in my brain it's fake.
yeah.
But I heard an interview with James Gunn on a podcast, and he basically said that no, it's real. That's exactly what Lara and Jor-El.
Oh, that's
What
unfortunate.
that just sort of brought me down a little bit. I was just
Yeah,
like, oh, that's
yeah,
not right. Well,
that drives me crazy as a Superman fan, as a fan of. I mean, I just recently finished Man of Steel #1, and as much as Lara wanted, Kal-El to be a ruler, that's not what Jor-El wanted for his son. Um, and it just drives me crazy that I mean it's an idea that's explored very seldom in the comics. It's just not it's not the depiction of Jor-El and Lara that I would want to see. Um, my favorite Jor-El and Lara was from Smallville, um, and that will probably Man of Steel, Jor-El and Lara are right up there.
definitely, yeah, they're my favorite. Zach,
Yeah.
Russell Crowe,
Oh yeah,
the
Russell Crowe is phenomenally good. So,
really good.
um, I wanted to talk about the missed Bizarro opportunity because I feel like there we definitely got a missed opportunity here. With the Superman clone, I really thought that they were going to go Bizarro because we got Ultraman, I guess, in this film, which kind of spoils Ultraman for future outings, if I'm being honest. But you know, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Give me the three Superman, Ultraman, the proper one
Yeah.
with his version of the Justice League or the Injustice League, I should say, and
Well, you know what they should do, Steven, is they should bring back all the actors from Zack Snyder's universe. Let Henry Cavill play Ultraman. Let Gal Gadot play Superwoman. Let um, Ben Affleck play Owlman. Let Ezra Miller play Johnny Quick. You
yeah, I'm with
know,
it. I'm
I'm
into it.
down. I would be so down for that. It wouldn't even be funny, and I feel like a lot of Zack Snyder fans would be too. So if James Gunn is smart, he would do that. And
That's
James,
like,
if you're listening to this podcast, sir, do it.
yeah, do it. It's like a $3 billion like gross right there. If you bring the
Oh
two
yeah,
worlds,
no question.
everybody would want to see that. I
Yeah,
thought that's what they were going to do with Ultraman when because he had a mask on throughout the whole thing until he reveals himself.
right.
In my back of my brain, I was like, well, Cavill had a cameo as Wolverine in the Deadpool film. Could he have come back with James Gunn? Because I know they met before he got announced that he was leaving the role.
Yeah,
He said he met with James Gunn and Peter Safran about the direction of the film, and I thought maybe they'd sneak him in there just as a good Easter egg, set him up for the future. But I
yeah,
just felt like apart from having the same power set, he was just a tool to be used in order to get into the fortress because Lex needed Superman's DNA to get to him.
yeah,
Whereas, that was creating him as a clone to get into the fortress. But, just need the DNA, then maybe just the hair strand that he had from one of the previous battles with Superman or one of the sites of Superman's actions that he could get it from there. So he didn't really need to create Ultraman.
right.
But I think he was just needed another henchman or something for Superman to punch and have drive the action. Because obviously he needed him to be the hammer of Barovia, was it?
Bar- Baravia, I think is what it was called, or something like that.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed we started the film in like media res, where it's like you get the end of a scene and then you slowly drip feed
Yeah.
backstory and reason, how he got here, but you don't really see it. And then you
Right.
kind of, the end, you get like a little bit of a taste of what the battle was like.
Yeah.
But as you said, he's just getting punched around too much for my liking.
Yeah. I mean, we spend 90 minutes of Superman just getting his butt kicked, and
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's just not Superman to me. And I understand he was going up against someone who is as powerful as he is. That makes a lot more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just hope that this Superman moving forward, I want to see him take out like muggers and robbers and things like that, and him being powerful. I want to see a powerful Superman.
Yeah.
I don't want
Those,
to. Go ahead.
you want those breakout moments to him, don't you? The way he carries himself and,
Yeah.
you know, with his deeds, and you want the iconic images to go with the film and what he's doing.
Right.
You felt like you had a lot of that in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. You could just pause the film at any part and get like an iconic shot of Superman.
Sure.
And I felt like that was what was missing. Also, what was missing, which I don't know why they're against shirt rips in the films these days. Just wanted a good shirt rip. Because,
Yeah. We didn't even get one.
not one. I mean, even Superman and Lois, the TV series, he has shirt rips in it. I'm just like, that's how you do a shirt rip. Look at him.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
glorious.
I mean, I don't understand why they didn't. I mean, that's such an iconic Superman thing. Why they didn't choose to do a shirt rip.
No, like they didn't do one in Man of Steel. They didn't do one in Batman. Well, they
Well, they
sort of teased.
did. They did not in Man of Steel, but they did in Zack Snyder's Justice League. We
That
get
was at the end.
we get the iconic shirt rip at the end, which is awesome.
Was awesome, but you just needed more of it, and I felt that's what this film was missing was just
Yeah,
iconic shot. Because
for sure.
again, that's just we've been spoiled for having such great iconography throughout the last couple of films. But
Right.
this film's hard to it. It's hard to say what an iconic scene was. Like I think one of them was when he was silhouetted in a load of smoke plumes. And he's sort of hovering, and you could see Superman when he saved the woman in the car from the building falling on her.
Yeah.
After that, that was like a nice shot, and I thought, oh, that you could, that's a good screensaver.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I don't I don't know if I have much else, Stephen. Do you have any more notes on this, sir, that you want to talk about? I guess we did want to talk about the language in this movie. We talked about it briefly. Um, the language was a big turnoff for me. For one, I don't like seeing. I mean, Superman is supposed to be for everybody type of character, and the fact that we even get Superman swearing in this, I absolutely hated. Um, Superman doesn't swear. He's a very wholesome character. This is, I mean, I understand this is 2025, but that's just not who Superman is. I mean, we don't want to see, I don't want to personally see that as a Superman fan.
Neither do I, and I think it's just it's getting off at the wrong foot. Like it's
Yeah,
starting at the wrong foot. It's kind of like the swearing should be. Everyone swears. We're all adults, and it happens
right,
in life. You don't want the aspirational characters like that to swear. And I
right,
know he was saying a hashtag, but it just felt wrong coming out of his mouth.
yeah,
The hashtag shouldn't be in there with a film that should be for everybody.
right,
And again, I'm like, am I surprised that this is the guy that had like a semen joke in Guardians of the Galaxy?
right, yeah,
After kids, and like was just like,
yeah.
oh,
It's just very James Gunn, and that's kind of why I feel like James Gunn was not the right. Some of the humor in the jokes were appropriate. Some of them were not. Like the monkeys. That was a fun, jokey moment take on internet trolls. I things like that are funny, but there's just some part of James Gunn's humor that isn't so funny. So, and I don't think right for Superman. So,
yeah, I get that because he's from the trauma world where it's like kind of very over the top and swearing and foul language and lots of
right,
sex and drugs and rock and roll, and that's great. But now you're in a 4 quadrant entertainment space. You need to be appealing to the families. And like my daughter was really excited after watching the trailers. She wanted to watch Superman with me, and I said we would go, but I'd vet it first just to make sure it wasn't too boring for her because she's 6, going on 6 in October, but she doesn't haven't really got the attention span for long films yet.
Yeah.
Just watches the Disney stuff and Paw Patrol and stuff like that, and stuff she knows that she enjoys, but she takes like breaks in between.
Sure.
So I just thought, I'm not going to waste money sending her to see the film if she can't sit through it. And I think it's fast paced enough for her to enjoy it. She'll love crypto, but I just like the hookers in this film that Jimmy Olsen walks past, and there's these little James Gunnisms that I just feel like aren't a match to the material.
Sure.
But speaking of Jimmy Olsen though, how did you feel that he was portrayed in this film?
Jimmy, Jimmy was portrayed as a player in this movie, and that is what that is. He's got a relationship with Eve Tessmacher. That's how they were able to put Lex Luthor away in jail, was because of his relationship with her. The fact that he goes to the seedy part of Metropolis with prostitutes on the streets and all that. It's like, okay, James, did you really need to put that in there?
Could have been you could have met anywhere, anytime, any place, anywhere, and he chose to put characters
right
in situations that they shouldn't be put in.
Yeah.
Surroundings, I should say, not situations, surroundings that they shouldn't be in. Because I don't have to explain that to my kid.
Right.
Yeah. In case that's what they're doing, I'm just like, well, geez.
Right.
What do you say at that point? But it's like, that's it. I will say it spoils it for me a little bit.
Sure.
That kind of aspect of it. And I feel like as a family entertainment character, then those things just shouldn't be in there. It's two real worlds for me.
Right.
While they're trying to establish a real world within DC, I think that's more like a Gotham thing than a Metropolis thing.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Metropolis, the city of the future, and everyone wants to live there because it's safe and Superman's patrolling the skies.
Right.
But yeah, I thought he did a good job with Jimmy Olsen, but I just felt like he was a bit too
playboyish.
Playboyish, just misogynist, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like his phone, if you stop Eve's name in his phone was Mutant Toes.
Yeah.
Which implies that she's got weird feet. Which we should, like, we've all said stuff like to mates about ex-partners and like strange things like that. But I just felt like it wasn't within Jimmy Olsen's character that I know Jimmy Olsen as to be that kind of vindictive or just hurt. Because he's just like a sweet kid, a sweet kid around the office. But just to see, again, it's just one of those things that the actor was good enough that I look past it, but there's just more things on to things I didn't like about the film to kind of bring my overall score down. Yeah. But what I wanted to bring up was the Wonder Woman reference.
Yes, so please do. I'd be curious.
Said like 3,000 years the first metahuman arrives, and I was thinking, is that Wonder Woman on Themyscira outing herself into the world, or could that be, go with me on this one, because I don't know why I thought it, and there's no evidence in the film to back it up, but could it be Vandal Savage?
It's a possibility. That would be cool if it was Vandal Savage.
Very cool.
I mean, Wonder Woman's been around since ancient Greece. So, she's the oldest DC character that we know of. Her debut was back in the 40s along with World War II, and Superman was a part of that as well, although he stayed right out of World War II. Wonder Woman was right smack dab in the middle of it. So, we even get that from Zack Snyder's version of Wonder Woman with Patty Jenkins. And,
with the pictures being at different parts in history, there was pictures of her with, trophies and
right
posing with the platoons she was with. So yeah, it's well within her rights, but that seeding it out. I know they just announced the Wonder Woman screenwriter, which is the same writer as Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So she must have done a hell of a good job to get two jobs from.
Yeah, I mean, if she's going to be directing Wonder Woman 2, I'm very curious as to who she will cast. I think some casting rumors have said Alexandra Daddario, which wouldn't be a bad choice at all.
No,
Um,
but she comes across as more of Donna Troy to me than would be for Diana.
yeah, yeah, very much more Donna Troy for sure.
If she's got that a little more softness, where I feel like Wonder Woman should have a little bit more of a hard edge.
Yeah, I feel like they could bring back Gal Gadot and it would be fine.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine too, because like it's established that the Suicide Squad that James Gunn directed is in canon with Peacemaker and Superman, so the new DC
Okay,
universe come together. So that means that Margot Robbie's still on the board for Harley Quinn. So why couldn't they bring
why couldn't they
one?
bring in Gal Gadot?
Yeah,
That would just make sense. I mean, the fans love her as Wonder Woman.
she's
So,
just such a good job with it. That's why she's just like really embodied the character really well.
yeah,
As much as Ben Affleck embodied Batman and Henry Cavill commanded the screen as Superman, the eye for casting and for Zack Snyder is just overall every film he's done is just he's got the best people.
yeah,
And people you would never have thought of, and you just think who are they and why haven't I seen them in the millions of different things?
right.
But they are. But did you feel like, I know you said you felt the script was too stuffed with characters, but did you feel the world building was good enough for the?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the world was good. I mean, I feel like, although, I mean, Danny alluded to it, I feel like once once the public knew about what Jarell and Lara said, I feel like the public turned on Superman like that on a dime, and that was a little too quick for me. But at the same time, this is supposed to be a 2-hour movie, so I understand why it had to be as quick as it was.
Sorry, my family just come in the room.
Oh, that's all right.
They're going to bed. Good night. You smelling it? You smelling it? Go bed. Say love. Hey, no, the Andrew? No, no love. Okay.
Oh goodness. But yeah, I think the world building was fine for the way that James Gunn did it. I thought it was well done. I thought the cast was great. Overall, I would give this, if I had to rank it out of 5 stars, I would give it a 3.5. Very above. I mean, it's above average movie for me. Um, I think I shared with you that Michael Bailey, who is a prolific Superman podcaster and who is a contributor with Steve Eunice over on the Superman homepage, he gave this a perfect 5 out of 5, which shocked me, to be perfectly honest with you. I would, I figured Michael would have at least some problems with this movie, but to give it a perfect score, do I think this is a perfect Superman movie? No, I don't. Do I think it's above average? Yeah, yeah, I do. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I think a 3.5 star rating is right where I think it needs to be. So,
Yeah. See,
what
I
about?
thought 3.5. I thought 3.5 as well, but then after reflecting on it a bit more, it went down to a 3 just because of all the problems that
Okay,
came from it. But yeah, I'm glad that Michael Bailey enjoyed it as much as he did. I'm glad that he got exactly what he wanted out of it. And I feel like every film or every one that should get what you want from the film. But like to me, Man of Steel is the upper echelon of Superman films. To me, I absolutely love that film.
yeah,
I went to see it 10 times in the cinema when it was first coming out because I had no job then, so I could had the time to go and see it so many times. I saw Batman vs Superman like 9 times in the cinema,
sure,
so they really spoke to me, and the kind of like I've never seen that Superman before.
right,
I feel like that's what I wanted. The Chris Reeve films could do so much, and I felt like they just brought a new modern sheen to it with all the special effects and the casting and the score. But look, yeah, I did want to mention just the score. Like I thought it was very forgettable and not
Yeah,
very
it's
inspiring.
fun. It's funny you say that because I listened to the score this past week. Because of course, as people wouldn't know, this is our second time recording this episode,
Yes.
thanks to recording software glitches and stuff like that. But I think we got those pretty much ironed out. But yeah, I listened to the score this past week, and besides the Chris Reeve, um, or not the Chris, I mean the John Williams score. Some of it was adapted into this new film, and I enjoyed those moments. But overall, the score is very forgettable. And when I got to the tail end of the score, I was bored listening to the score, and that's not how you want to feel listening to a soundtrack from a Superman movie. You want it to feel every bit as iconic as it should be, and
Yeah.
I just didn't feel that. I don't know if it was the composer just not being the right fit for the Superman movie or a superhero movie. Um, I feel like Hans Zimmer just encapsulated the Man of Steel um, feel and tone and all of it.
I feel like it
Excuse
didn't
me.
have an identity, whereas every Superman actor deserves their own soundtrack and deserves their own theme.
Yeah.
So Marvel got his own theme, Chris Reeve got his own theme, Brandon Routh got a variation of a theme, but they were trying to be they're trying
Yeah.
to
They.
be with the world as the Christopher Reeve film, so
Yep.
you kind of at one slide. Dean Cain had his own theme, Tom
Right.
Welling had, so they deserve it, and I feel like it's a disservice to David Cornsweet's character that he didn't get a true iconic Superman theme.
Yeah.
So I felt like you said I'd still listen to Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel and BVS scores outside of watching the
Oh
film.
yeah, for sure.
So, and I can picture the scenes straight away, and it gives me goosebumps, and it's iconic, and it propels everything forward. Like I think it's Ignition, is what it's called, where he's over the Indiana Ocean with what's it called? With the machine,
Oh
the
yeah, the World Engine.
world engine, and I just can picture exactly the action going to that based on the score itself. So I feel like it's. I know the composer was a Scouser like me, which means he's from Liverpool, so I should really be supporting him. But I just felt like I know there was two composers, so I don't know how much he done or how
Right.
much the other did, but just really overall it was very disjointed, wasn't very memorable. I
Yeah.
couldn't hum any back to you, and I just felt like reusing the John Williams theme was just kind of a cop out.
Yeah.
I
No,
would
I
give it
I would agree. I would
because if
agree.
you're going to make a new Superman film and you don't want to connect to the old ones, it has to stand on its own as its own interpretation. So
Right.
it doesn't go back to it. You don't want if you wanted another Zack Snyder film, you would have hired Zack Snyder to make another Zack Snyder film.
Right.
This is supposed to be a universe, so they should be establishing their own tone and their own, which they do, I think, successfully establish a tone. It's very Silver Agey, comic booky, very like mixture of Man of Steel and All Star Superman with a little bit of Birthright thrown in there. They're not too much just the way characters are, and
Right.
it's a good start. Kind of reminds me of Iron Man 1 for the Marvel side of things,
Yep.
where it's like it's not solely focused, but the focus is one character first, and then announce the rest of the slate later.
Right.
I think they've done that. I think got a good foundation, and I hope they build on it, this foundation, and just make it as strong as possible
Yep.
by having varying tones. I don't want every tone. I don't want every film in DC to be this similar tone as this. But I want them to build the world out. I want to see Batman. I want to see Wonder Woman. I want to see the Justice League. I want to see the Flash.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of possibilities to this new universe, and
For
if
sure.
they get it right, then it could be like 20 years of pure entertainment, or 10 years at least of pure entertainment.
Yeah.
As an overall story to tell as well, because I felt that's what worked really well with Marvel, is they had a story behind all the films that was driving it forward.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we don't get an overarching big bad for this movie.
Not yet, no.
Not yet, anyway. Which I'm okay with. I mean, if they were to do any big overarching character, I feel like Darkseid we already kind of got. So maybe now that we have Lex Luthor, maybe we might see the purple mech suit or the purple and green mech suit in subsequent films, and we get maybe an Injustice League if they decide to do like Gorilla Grodd or with the Flash, which by the way, Grant Gustin has expressed interest at coming back to play the Flash in the actual James Gunn movie. So
No, I don't want to. I don't want anyone from TV playing the roles. I think it should
no,
be. No, I think it should just be new people. Because while I feel like he's done an okay job, it's just the Flash kind of ended on a whimper to me. It started really strong and then just went a bit too over the top and silly, and
yeah,
felt like the Flash was hardly in it, and he had to secede his own story to the side characters who all knew his identity because he just couldn't stop from telling people that he was the Flash.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Grant Gustin would be a fan choice more than anything else. I mean, Grant Gustin. I mean, for one, Barry Allen in the comics is blonde, and Grant
Yeah.
Gustin's very much a brunette. Not saying that you can't you can't be a blonde or anything like that, but he's not a natural blonde to say the least. So
There's
you
always
know,
wigs and stuff on people,
always
so
wigs, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know,
yeah, I'd like Brainiac to be the overall arcing villain, though.
Brainiac would be a great choice.
I think he'd be just really
Well, and
strong.
it kind of takes a page out of, I don't know if you've ever played it, but DC Universe Online
No,
is an MMO with Brainiac being the overarching villain, and like Lex Luthor comes back from the distant future and infuses regular people with superpowers. I mean, I don't think they'll go that far, but Brainiac would be a great overarching villain. Um,
just so much untapped potential as well.
I
Never seen him before.
just
I
hope
think
that we don't see like an Injustice version at some
yeah,
point because I don't want Superman to be a bad guy. I just don't.
no. He can be brainwashed and spend most of the film on the side of bad guys, but he shouldn't fundamentally. His character shouldn't change,
No, no.
which I feel like Injustice kind of like pushed him over the edge with killing Lois Lane off, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
hands as well. Killed his own love of his life, and it's just a bit too much for him to take.
yeah. Very much so. Very much so. Well, I don't think I have much else, sir, unless you do. I think we
No, no,
pretty much dissected this into itty bitty pieces, which is
I think
always the
I've
goal in mind. Always the
always.
goal in mind. Well, Stephen, I appreciate you coming on, man. This has been a blast, and I want to thank again Danny for joining us. Next time out, we're going to be talking about the Man of Steel mini, which I've got the episode outlined and ready to go. We're just got to sit down and record it. So we're going to be covering that series moving forward, and so excited to be hopping into the post-crisis first, right out of the gate, because it's the Superman that I know the best. So
Yeah, same here. As much as I love the other factions of him, Post Crisis is right in our era, especially with me growing up.
yeah.
That was the best Superman comics I read with them
Well,
ones.
I mean, my very first Superman story was the death of Superman, death and return of Superman.
Same here.
So, I mean, I didn't grow up with the death and return of Superman. I didn't read it until I got into college. I didn't start collecting comics till I got into college. So, it's and that was my very first. I picked up the omnibus and I foolishly returned it after I was done because I needed the money.
Of
I
course.
I wish I still had a copy because it's incredibly difficult to find. So
Always.
yeah, but I think that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. If you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. I wish people could see Steven's video, but make sure you click that bell for notifications. It really does help the channel out a lot. And that's going to wrap it up for us. So thank you guys, and we will talk to you sometime soon. See you later.
Yep.